but it's not quite 10 o'clock either. Yeah, it says we're live. Yeah, I got the notification.
Hey, welcome to the Generational Gap. Hey, John, how you doing tonight?
Oh, fantastic. I'm really excited about our setup here. We got a brand new studio that we built. And by we, I mean Robert built. And yeah, so we're live now and on camera. So we're going to have some fun.
Are we going to have fun, John?
Hopefully. I
All
mean,
right.
unless we suck.
We
It's
could
always
do
a
that.
possibility.
This is the first time out of the gate, so we can suck really bad. Hey,
Yeah.
folks, this is, everything you want to know about the news and politics, anything that we can scramble up. We like to play around with the culture wars. John's a big fan of that.
Yeah.
You know how these millennials
These
can be.
millennials.
But anyway, I'm your resident Gen Xer, and John's our resident millennial, and
Yep.
we have some differing, similar views about how things in the world should work. He's usually wrong, I'm usually right, and he never admits it.
No, never. Ever.
You can't. You just can't admit it, can
I mean, if you
But,
could prove I was wrong, you
do
know.
what?
If you could prove I was wrong, then I would, but
It's easy to
can't be
prove you're
done.
wrong, John.
Can't be done.
If you open your mouth and talk,
Mm,
you're more than likely wrong.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's provable. Uh, but so how's things going in your life, John? What's going on with you? Anything? Any fun and exciting?
Not really. Get back from vacation a little while ago, a couple weeks
Yeah, I
ago,
remember
actually.
that.
That's why we took this huge break. Not only to, kind of deal with things going on in our own lives, but also to make sure that we could build this, studio and, get all the necessary equipment we needed to do it. Because we wanted to try and do it right. We'll see if we do or not. But that was the whole purpose of our little hiatus that we took.
It was sweet and romantic, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you had
Yeah.
your good time
Oh yeah.
with the pretty lady friend.
Oh yeah. Nice
She
little
was a real
time.
lady, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was my
Biological
first
female.
biological
Yep.
cisgen. Is that what it is? I don't know what your kids are calling it these days.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cisnormative.
Cis normative. Yeah,
So,
we'll get into that later.
right. Hey, you like Kiss, John? You like the band Kiss?
Yeah, they're all right. I never got like super into them, but I did not enjoy their music.
I was watching the finale of America's Got Talent, as I was telling you off mic earlier, and
Yeah.
they opened the show with Kiss.
Mhm.
Now, from what I understand, Kiss is at 45 years of performing, 5 years left, but it looks like they're going to be doing a final tour.
Yeah.
Um, the last report I read said they had 3 years of dates scheduled out. Final performance, last chance to see Kiss.
Yeah. Do you want to though?
Well, no, because I've already seen their final tour, and I
Oh,
saw
their
that.
first final tour.
Yes, I
Yeah.
saw a final tour for them 15 years ago, roughly. Yeah, they were done. I saw that final
Yeah.
tour, and then I had a chance the following year to see their next final tour, or was it 2 years? It might have been 2 years later
Yeah.
to see their next final tour. But now they're going to do their final tour. But they're looking rough. They're looking a
Yeah,
little
it's
rough
got to
under
be
that
their
makeup.
actual final tour. You
Yes,
know what I mean?
I
There's
know,
not. They
right?
don't can't have that many left in them.
They can't all be Mick Jagger, right?
Right.
And,
Going for like 70 years.
oh
Jesus.
my God! But that happened to me one other time too.
What's that?
Whenever I was younger, they getting screwed over at a final concert tour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went to see Leonard Skinner's final concert
Oh
tour at Arena in Georgia. 2 years later,
yeah.
I had an opportunity to go see Leonard
That's
Skinner's
funny.
final concert tour again.
Good
I was a
shit.
little miffed
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine.
because tickets aren't cheap. Even what was it, 15 years ago, 15, 16 years, $75, and that was to sit up in the nosebleed section at the
Right.
arena here in Florida, where we're at,
Yeah.
and that was $75. I almost choked. I remember $15 for a concert ticket,
Yeah, yeah.
or go to them free
Back in the
with your
day.
admission.
Yeah. before
What's the
they
point of
before they
doing
had those talking pictures and
Well,
whatnot.
they would carve the ticket out on rock.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Asshole.
Back when wheels were square.
When paper was still made out of rock.
Yeah.
But have you ever? When was the last concert you were to? You went to
Last concert that I went
concert.
to.
You've been to a concert.
Oh yeah. I think it was the a Sick Puppies concert in Orlando, Club Firestone. Yeah, back when they were relevant.
You've been to Club Fires.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was pretty fun.
And the name of the band was what again?
Sick Puppies.
And are you sure it wasn't the SPCA was doing a
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
adoption
I
tour?
didn't see any dogs dying, so I mean, they're just people playing music.
Is this punk?
No, no, it's like mainstream rock. They were all over 1011, which is the radio station around here for those who don't know. Um, and My Darkest Days opened for them, who are the
This is a
ones.
real band.
Yeah, yeah, they're from Australia. They came over. It's like during the like 2008, 2009 Australian invasion, where we had a ton of Australian bands come over. I think Jet was another one that was Australian,
Wow.
and there's others I can't think of them off the top of my head, but yeah, it was a pretty good concert.
Sick puppies.
Yeah, and like I said, My Darkest Days opened for them. They had the one song that everybody knows, "Porn Star Dancing."
Now, when you say everybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, not a boomer like yourself.
Ah, well, that's good. I see
uh,
what you're doing. I see what you're doing there.
yeah, yeah,
You want my dad? Is that who you want my dad to show up?
yeah, sure. Um, but it was funny though. I got to take a piss next to the lead guitarist from My Darkest Days, because
Wow,
like
that's got to be a pinnacle moment in your life.
oh yeah, it was like best moment of my life. But no, it was funny because apparently there's no like private bathroom in the back or something, so like everyone had to use the main like pleb bathroom. And so I walked in. I was standing at the urinal taking a piss, and he just walked up and got to the urinal next to me and started pissing. And I was like, "Hey man, great show." And he's like, "Oh, thanks." And that was the extent of our conversation and interaction.
I'm gonna guess that the viewing audience will want to know the answer to this question.
All right.
You looked at his penis, didn't you, John?
I can neither confirm nor deny any penis gazing that may or may not have happened. That is my answer. It was really big.
The denial?
That too, yeah.
The denial sounded big. Hey, folks, we've got a few things we're going to talk about tonight. Since this is our first live stream, hey, do us a favor if you like what you hear and talk about it out there. You've got the like, you've got the subscribe. There's Twitter. That's
Yeah,
with
Twitter
Bird,
at
right? That,
the Gen Gap P.
at the Gin Cap.
The Gen
P.
Gap P.
Twitter's fun. You can talk to people
Twitter's fun.
about
Yeah,
us.
I tweet quite often.
Do you?
Yeah, I just mostly
You're a
respond to
tweeter?
things. I don't like do my own tweet, but I mean, we'll see
Really?
what happens. Yeah.
I'm an observer, a lurker, as it
Yeah.
were. I don't like to interact on the sites because people don't want to hear what I have to say.
Right. That's why you're doing this, right?
Right, exactly. This is the best you're going to get from me. At least here, I can be wrong and be publicly embarrassed by it at the same time.
Yeah.
You can see my face. I don't like to hide behind the little the Tweety bird
Yeah. Little
and
Twitter egg.
the little Facebook fuck F. Am I allowed to
Facebook
say
fuck
that
F.
online?
No, this is a family show. You
It
can't
is?
say the word fuck.
Whose family's one? Oh, I thought you meant Facebook.
Yeah, fucking basically, Jesus. Yeah.
Just because we said Facebook doesn't mean your privacy is at concern. All right. So we're what are we going to talk about, John? We got a few things to talk about, don't we?
Yeah.
A little bit of
I
something
think we
going
pulled
on,
some stuff, right?
such as what?
Something about Kavanaugh.
Brett guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's this
See how
like
he's going.
Supreme Court douche. I don't know.
He's had some issues.
I guess we'll find out about him.
He's got a little bit of issue right
Yeah.
now. We were also going to talk about something else, weren't we, John?
A couple other things, but let's not spoil it.
No, you don't want to spoil it.
No.
People are going to see it. I mean, I don't mind giving people a rundown. There was a little bit of fun on the Weather Channel. Let's talk about the Weather Channel. This is
Yeah, we'll start with that. That's cool.
this is kind of fun. I mean, I hate to give Trump credence for fake news, but sometimes they elaborate.
Sometimes, yeah,
They exaggerate. It's not fake news. It was
it's
exaggeration.
exaggerated. I don't
So
know. Let's find out.
we had a wonderful storm hit. Florence
Yeah,
came up North
North
Carolina, South
Carolina, South
Carolina,
Carolina,
hit the
and
coast, right?
Virginia. I think. Yeah.
Came in as a cat two-ish to
Yeah.
one-ish, dissipating as it came in.
We
It
in
was
Florida call that a rainstorm.
right,
Call that
right.
an average Thursday
We're
afternoon.
calling right Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
The cat force, cat one's not even a cat, right? That's a kitten.
Right.
Right.
We don't even
Yeah.
throw a hurricane party until at
Right.
least Cat 4.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
you buy a big bottle of liquor and, just
I don't unpack
hang
my
out and get drunk.
generator unless I get three.
Right.
It's just
Exactly.
not even going to begin. So anyway, everybody's making a big deal out of Florence for some reason. It's really kind of odd. I mean, I know everybody in the administration is trying to act like, hey, we did such a great job with Florence. It's like, okay, great, you did a great job with the rainstorm. But the Weather Channel,
Yeah.
they love to be out there in the thick of it.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen some tremendous things
Some
from them.
hard-hitting journalism right
It
there.
is. And now that's not to say that they don't get out there in the middle of the month.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I've seen plenty of times where they're in, waist-deep water, talking shit about the
But
storm,
then, but then
egging it on.
occasionally,
No. Yeah.
occasionally you get something like this. And basically, what happened? We have a Weather Channel weatherman. Was he a weatherman or just a reporter?
He's some kind of reporter.
Just a reporter.
Ash,
I guess if you're
asshole,
with the
yeah.
Weather Channel, you're all weathermen, right?
Probably not.
I mean, technically.
I guess, yeah.
I mean,
In
what
the
else
most
do they
technical
report
of
on?
senses.
What else do they report? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, there's nothing but the weather. It's not like they're NTV and they've got reality shows
Right, not music videos.
to replace the videos.
Right. All right, but yeah, let's watch this. Let's watch this hilarity because this is great.
Let me see if they've got an actual. There it comes. Here we go.
Yeah,
So let's see what we've got going on here.
Is that some? Yeah, that's some asshole filming his TV.
Yeah, that's what everybody's got.
Jesus.
In Wilmington, North Carolina, right at the Intracoastal, and we're in one of these bands. This is about as nasty as it's been. We had some bands like this last night, and then the eye wall this morning. We were not on TV. It was the dark.
Yeah, so it's really strong.
Yeah.
And we've got these guys that are just throwing.
I love that they're wearing shorts and like short sleeve shirts. It's fucking hilarious, dude. Oh my
Hey, did
God.
you want to go get a coffee? Well, do you think we'll be okay on the street?
Yes.
No.
Oh man.
What's wrong with the Weather Channel?
Yeah, the Weather Channel guy was acting like an asshole. Just
They
oh my
are
God.
hiring the assistant.
Yeah, I know. It's just oh my God.
So now they did come back, right? They
Yeah.
came back and they explained for.
They gave the worst explanation, in my opinion.
I have to say it's the best.
Well, okay, yeah,
let's
yeah.
see.
Fair enough. For
Here
hilarity's
it is.
sake, it is the best.
The Weather Channel rushed to Seidel's defense, saying it's important to note that the two individuals in the background are walking on concrete.
Oh my God.
And Mike Seidel is trying to maintain his footing on wet grass.
Right.
After reporting on air until 1 a.m. Eastern Time this morning, is undoubtedly exhausted.
Okay.
It's tough to stand on grass.
Right,
when you're
so it
tired.
didn't look like he was losing his footing. It looked like he was being buffeted by the wind.
Didn't it look like he was trying to brace himself
Right,
against
from the
wind?
wind.
That's not footing. Because he wasn't really making forward progress.
Right.
He wasn't going anywhere.
Right, he certainly wasn't trying to hold his footing. He was just acting like he was being buffeted. Let's watch the video again with that in mind, that's the explanation, and see if we can, kind of give it
Some
credence.
Credence?
Where are you going?
It just bounced me.
Jesus.
You know how it is. But there he is.
That's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, look at him. He's being buffeted. He's not.
He's stepping back.
Right.
I mean, back at him. Look at it. He's stepping
He's
back.
clearly.
The wind is forcing him to stay. He's looking at braces.
Look at this. Oh, they don't have short sleeve shirts.
Oh, he
but
almost
still
fell.
pants.
Ooh, it's tough. His pocket almost came open. Woo! Tough wind.
Oh man, that's so much wind. Like,
So if it's going to rip a pocket open, he may have really been having a tough time.
No, no. Oh my god.
Hey, those pockets probably had a hook and loop closure. I don't think we can say the V word.
I have no idea what you just said, so.
A hook and loop closure?
No.
That's what you call Velcro.
Oh.
That's how you say everything that's not actually manufactured by Velcro.
Oh, okay. See, I've always thought, yeah, so it's like Kleenex or like Xerox, where you just kind of say the brand name instead of like what the actual product is called.
Right, but that's not right.
Right, right.
You're not allowed to do that. Like Frisbee. Frisbee's a brand.
Is Frisbee really a brand? I didn't know
Right.
that. I just
It
thought
is.
that's what it was called.
I read a whole article on this. Kleenex. Kleenex is a brand.
Yeah, yeah, I knew that.
So you can't say just hand me a Kleenex and somebody give you something to somebody else. Sherman, you give me Sherman, you're breaking the law. You're using the wrong name. It's crazy
Yeah.
stuff. You know, there's some activism stuff there.
Activism stuff.
You're infringing our rights. So even the Weather Channel is susceptible to a little bit of fake news.
Fake news.
Is that what we're at? Is that?
Very fake news.
Here's some of these wonderful tweets. I love them. They were fun with this.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing. Apparently he skips leg
Leg
day
day.
at the gym.
That's
Uh,
good. I like that.
We all have one friend.
I guess.
We all have that one melodramatic friend. I can't with this.
Yeah, just
Guys
strolling
in
on
shorts
by.
just strolling on by.
Oh man.
Hashtag metaphor for bigger issues. Media. There we go. I wonder. I think I bet he's a Trump follower.
I don't know. He's got the blue check mark, so maybe not.
Who's Scott Hansen?
That sounds familiar.
No, Hansen was the brothers, the band. That's the only Hansen.
Well, there's also
I can think of.
Jim Hansen.
Jim
Henson. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Close enough. It's all
Just
the same
because he's
shit.
got a blue check mark doesn't mean you have to know who he is.
No, but you know he's probably not a Trump supporter if he has a blue check mark. That's a whole other thing we can get into.
See Brian Stelter? He's got a check mark.
He does. I don't know who that is.
Jimmy Orr has a check mark. Jesus, Brian, let's be real. Mike's should perhaps stand on the concrete then. Pick fights you can win.
That's funny.
Oh, no. So if you're ever going to be working for the Weather Channel, let's be a little more realistic, a little more transparent. These conspiracy theories about horrific winds.
Right. You're certainly not helping the whole conspiracy theory thing.
I'm surprised he didn't slip up and say he was in New Orleans.
Right.
All right, so okay, so there's really no good way to segue from fake news. Brett Kavanaugh. Yeah, this all works.
Yeah. The joke's there. The audience can do their own work.
Guess. There are guests.
Oh, that's right.
Be
Yeah,
our guests.
they are guests.
Be our guests. Be our guests.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Our
Disney.
guests.
Don't be Disney. All right, so Brett Kavanaugh. He's been nominated for the Supreme Court.
Yeah, good for
the
him.
Republicans are chewing on their little bones, excited, trying to get all the marrow out. Waiting for him to get in there. We want to vote. We want to vote. We want to vote. But what have we got standing in
Something
the way?
stopping it.
What's her name?
Dr. Ford. I'm not sure what her first name is.
Christine. Blasey.
Blasey.
Shouldn't it be two S's for Blasey?
Who knows?
We should hear the pronunciations before we come on the show. We're going to cancel the show until we get the pronunciation.
Yeah, we're just gonna end now. That's it. Stop the show.
But anyway, she's come forward and she said that Mr. Kavanaugh was not a nice young man.
Oh no. What did he do to not be a nice young
something
man?
untoward to her, very forward at a party when they were young. I believe she claimed to be about 15 years old.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, I've heard that she claims to have been 15 years old. However, she doesn't remember the year that it was. So, I mean, if you know what your age you were, you at least know kind of what year it was. I think she said, like, might have been 1982, and I've heard, like, 1985 as well. So, I'm not sure. But those are conflicting reports. I'm not sure what she herself said.
Well, she did say that he and another friend attempted to have sexual congress with her against her will
Mm.
at a party. And even this supposed friend has, if I remember correctly, seeing a headline today, I'll have to check the facts for next time. But might even be indicating that he never did point Kavanaugh out as the other person with him.
Right.
Which, of course, everybody wants to backtrack these days. It's, that's part of the track is backtrack.
Yeah.
But,
Exactly.
but so now the stink is whether or not she'll come forward to testify. Both she and Kavanaugh have both said they're willing to testify about this, but she hasn't come forward to do so yet.
Yeah.
And they had given her Monday, but it
Monday.
appears now they've expended till Wednesday.
Right.
Because they want to vote the following Monday.
Well, she's got to have time to rehearse the story and get it right, you know.
Well, she didn't ask to Wednesday. I don't think she asked for it. They just gave her ample time to
Yeah,
come
no,
forward.
I'm just being a dick.
And Donald Trump says that in a tweet that he would expect that if this had been as horrific as it was, if this had happened, that surely police would have been involved,
Right.
because her loving parents would have done something about this.
Yeah, I mean, so that is kind of harsh, on the parents. It's like, oh, her loving parents, like sarcastically. But I do agree with the general sentiment that, like, if there was proof, bring it forward.
Well-
People will see it. If the proof is legitimate, then yeah, I mean, you should move forward with that in mind. But until that happens, I mean, you have to have the presumption of innocence.
Well, when it's all said and done, here are the things that are going to be argued against them. And I'm sure, because after he tweeted this, the why I didn't come forward or whatever, there was
The
a hashtag
yeah.
trending for it.
I didn't look at anything under it, but
Right.
it was like why I didn't come forward or some shit like that.
But if you look at how old is Kavanaugh now, at the time,
Isn't
this
he
would
like
have happened.
50 something?
He's in 50s.
Yeah, 55, I think.
So at the time this would have happened, we're talking, 40 years ago, 35, 40 years ago.
Everyone that I've seen has been saying 35 or 34 years.
Okay.
But again, if she doesn't remember the year that it was, then you can't
Sure.
really know. But it would
But
be
at the
about
t-
30, 35, 34 years, yeah.
But if she was at that age, 15, 16 years old,
Right.
yes, you could say we were in more of a patriarchal society at the time.
In the
A little
80s?
more. Yeah.
Maybe. I
Leaning
mean,
more towards patriarchal than we are now, with so many boisterous voices.
define patriarchal in that sense.
Well, it's more likely that two males, potentially, I don't know how affluent they were,
Yeah, I have no idea.
but potentially two males corroborating a story against one young woman. What proof is there if they didn't actually rape her? There wasn't like video to get.
Right, yeah, no one took their phone out, to take video.
So what evidence would there be? Who is she going to tell?
Right.
That would necessarily believe her at the
Her
time?
parents.
Her parents would believe her.
Right.
But fear. Okay, so
Yeah.
She
Yeah, I
hasn't-
mean,
she
is-
hasn't explained what happened yet.
Right. I mean, she was obviously at a party that at 15 or so years old, she had no business being in. So I can see why she wouldn't want to come forward, because she didn't want to get in trouble with her parents or, something else for being somewhere that she shouldn't have been. But to hold on to it for 35 years or so and to come out with it in such a politically convenient time, it just reeks of like, I don't want to say corruption, but yeah, I mean, there's something fishy about it, that's all. And I mean, if there's something to it, then yeah, it should be pursued. But I mean, until then, like I said before, you have to, have the presumption of innocence. This whole like guilty until proven innocent is bullshit. And that is where our culture is going currently.
Well, with all the sexual allegations that have come forward, you know that this immediately turns it into that kind of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
as we've spoken about off mic, Al Franken was a deplorable case of how
Yeah, that was
guilt,
unfortunate.
guilt over innocence.
Yeah.
He stepped down from the assumption of guilt.
Right. Well, so was it, refresh my memory, was it just the picture
Yeah,
that
it
was
was just,
taken?
it was, of
So
course,
there was at least evidence of what can be perceived as
sure,
sexual
the
assault.
perception is there.
Right. So at least, but there, at least with that, there's something. There's nothing but a 2012 like psychiatrist note. I think it was a psychiatrist or like some kind of therapist for her marriage. I think it was what it was, like a marriage counselor. And I don't think it. I don't want to say something incorrect, but I don't think it actually names Brett Kavanaugh. I think it just said that it was a someone who is a judge now, and has a chance of being a Supreme Court nominee. So that also kind of smells fishy in a way.
Well, they want Ford's attorneys want the FBI involved, but nobody's expecting they're going to do it. Even the FBI is
Yeah, they
not
even
planning
said
to.
that they're not going
There's
to.
no evidence.
How can they? Where do they start? What can they do?
Right. I mean, how do you? There really is no evidence. There's 3 people potentially that know about this happening.
Yeah.
And one of them's not going to say anything wrong.
Right.
And then one other is going to say, yeah, you did do something wrong. And you got this third person
Who could?
probably got a price.
Do we know who it is? Like, do we know their name? Do we know? You know what I mean? Like, how do you even go about finding this person? It was just like an unnamed friend of Kavanaugh's, apparently.
I want to say that there is a name, and I have to find it because somebody came out and said that there was an article today, and again, keeping up with all the articles that come out about things like this. Basically, to the extent that Kavanaugh wasn't named by name,
Right. That's
as
what I
one of the
was.
people as the other person was with. It's screwy.
It is
but I
very
mean-
screwy.
But I mean, it's this leads to the bigger problem of the Supreme Court and what it's turned into. What it's turned into is a problem. That's the issue I have. I feel about that. I mean, pretty much it's buying and setting the vote. I don't like that.
What do you think about Brett Kavanaugh in general? I think we discussed this a little bit on the last episode, but that was a couple months ago, so I honestly don't remember. And I think obviously new things have come out, since, other than the sexual allegations.
To be honest with you, I have the same feeling about Brett Kavanaugh as I have anybody coming to the Supreme Court. If your agenda is to come in and change everything to based off politics,
Mm-hmm.
it's the politics. If we have a Supreme Court justice that is going based off of what they think is right and wrong, which we have some on the Supreme Court, that's great. But if the only reason you're coming in is because you're a Republican or Democrat switch vote
Well,
that can
no, go ahead.
garner
Go ahead,
you
finish.
another election.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, of course, the first thing is Roe versus Wade's going to be overturned.
Yeah, and
Right?
we definitely talked about that. I know we
Sure.
talked about that.
And it wasn't him that brought it up. It was the news media. Of course,
Yeah.
the news media jumps out immediately.
Because of past
Sure.
judgments he made as a lower circuit judge.
Well, yes, and the simple fact that the Republicans have been chomping at the bit to get somebody in there.
Right.
I think they knew when Trump was coming in. That's why they worked so hard to get Trump in, so that they would have a Republican in office that was going to replace Anthony. Right? Was it Anthony? Was his last name?
Scalia?
No, it wasn't Scalia that was that retired.
Yeah. Oh my God, I feel like such an asshole for not
I thought his
knowing.
last name was Anthony.
It might be. God, why can I not remember his name now?
Well, my excuse is I'm old, 50 years old. Sunday. on
Yeah,
50
yeah,
on
on
Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. So happy early birthday, and if you're watching this later, happy birthday and belated birthday to Robert. He's officially going to be very, very old on Sunday. Um, I mean, honestly, we probably got another year or two of this podcast, and then we got to put him in a home because he's just not going to be able to handle it anymore. He's going to be, on all kinds of medication, things like that.
I'm 50.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. I don't like that the Supreme Court has just become about loading the dice.
But see, I don't think that's the case because he seems, at least from what I've seen about him, is he's a staunch constitutionalist. So like that's why it seems like he flip flops. But it's because one, when he was a lower circuit judge, he would go by first of all what the Supreme Court precedent was, and then he would go by the Constitution to make his judgments. And so that's why it would seem that he would flip flop. But I mean, really, it's there's no real principle there. It's just like, what does the Constitution say? What did the Supreme Court say? That's my decision. And that's why he was saying things like about Roe versus Wade that keeps being brought up. He says, well, the Constitution doesn't say anything about it, which means that the federal government has no business in it. And so that needs to be brought up by the state. The states need to decide for themselves. I don't know. It's a really tough one for me, but like the kind of people who celebrate abortion kind of pushes me the opposite direction. The people who are like, "Oh, be proud of your abortion," and things like that, and they definitely exist, and they're very vocal about it. And so when I see that, it's just I can't put my name behind that. I can't do it. But at the same time, I don't want to like outlaw it or anything. I want the states to decide for themselves, each state, and that way, they can decide what to do.
Is it still some? I mean, is it even something states need to be able to decide
I,
on? I
I,
mean, again,
that's the only way.
it calls on religion. It's all one side of the argument is always going to fall to religion. They can try and say, oh, it's all about the health and safety of the
The
female,
feet,
but
yeah.
only she can decide that.
Yeah. So what do you think about like the man's right, to say yes or no to an abortion? Because I mean, the
Well,
argument obviously is that it's his child too. He obviously the counter argument to that is usually, well, he doesn't have to carry the baby or whatever, but it's
sure.
still his child.
I do believe that if the mother and father are staying together, if both are planning on dealing with that child, then he does have a right to have
At least to
input and
say,
say.
yeah,
Right. Um, it, it does come down to her body. I get it. Um, but there are two parents involved with every child,
right.
unless it's artificial, which abortion doesn't come into
Well,
question.
there's still two people involved because it's someone else's sperm being
Yeah,
put
but a
into
lot of
someone else's
times
egg.
that person doesn't know.
Yeah, yeah, like a sperm
Yeah,
donor. But I
right,
think I
right.
think a lot of the times I don't know.
But if you're
Like
getting it from that source, you're not getting an abortion either.
right, well,
Right?
yeah, because you want to
Right,
be
right,
artificially inseminated. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
So, you know, this fundamental idea that when a child is conceived, from the time it's conceived till the time it's born, the man has no say over what happens with the
Right.
child. But then suddenly, all he is now back at a responsible point. He was responsible for making it happen,
Yeah.
along with the woman. Then there's that, this I, and I'm not saying this is widespread, and not every woman does it, but there's a widespread mentality. It's my body, it's my baby,
Yeah.
till it's born, and then now you welcome back to the responsibility fold,
Yeah.
right? Which
Exactly.
I think is bullshit.
And then you better have your child support payment. Right, but you
Don't
don't
get me
have a
started.
say. Yeah, I
Don't
know.
get me
It's a
started.
yeah, it's a whole thing.
Most of the time, fathers like myself, I spent 8 years as a stay-at-home father. I raised my two children for 8 years, and it's widespread that you don't really get a lot of respect as a man in that role.
Yeah.
You just don't. So, taking our opinion out of it from the very beginning, I don't know. I just think
Yeah.
it's something that it should be left to individuals. It shouldn't be governed except from the medical standpoint. And loading the Supreme Court to make these wide, broad, sweeping legislations, it's bullshit. Just to garner
Yeah.
votes in the next election.
Yeah.
This is to strengthen the Republican position in 2020. It's really what it's about. It sucks. That's not what the Supreme Court was meant to be.
No, no, that's
So,
true.
whether Brett Kavanaugh was a naughty boy at a party, I don't know. Remains to be seen.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Whether or not Brett Kavanaugh is a puppet of the Republicans on the Supreme Court, it remains to be seen. But we'll know probably by the beginning of next week, because they want to take a vote if they don't get a word from her this coming
Yeah,
week.
hopefully we'll have a follow up next Friday.
If anybody has anything to say out there about what Mr. Kavanaugh got himself going through, or what's happening with Miss Ford and all the other fun there, go ahead and share with us. Give us some comments. Throw some stuff out there. Tell us something to talk
Yeah,
about.
do that
Hey,
shit.
you like Coca-Cola drink?
Yeah, I've been known to enjoy a Coca-Cola beverage once in a while.
I'm a fan.
I know you are.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah,
I kind of drink it every day.
exclusively.
Yeah, well, it's got water in it. It's got carbonated water. I'm just saying.
Speaking of delicious beverages, would you do me a huge favor and hand me a beer out of that beer fridge?
Tom, we don't need to promote that on a family show.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's root beer, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. You
The
are a
root
gentleman
word is
and a
beer.
scholar.
So, now, understanding that you like Coke, do you, not that you partake,
No.
but do you appreciate marijuana? The healing benefits,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
positive
I mean, you know,
impacts,
yeah, yeah. I mean, you know,
the
I,
good it can
I
do.
can neither confirm nor deny, my participation in such activities. But if I were to do so, then yeah, I would like it a lot every day.
So it appears that with the widespread, we'll call it medical and recreational legalization throughout the country,
Hmm.
30 states now?
I'm not sure. Most of them would have
It's a majority
medical.
now.
Yeah, most of them would have medical marijuana, not fully legalized. I believe it's just Washington State, California, and Colorado.
In California.
I just said California.
Did you
I
say
did, but you weren't
more?
listening.
But there's more. There's more
Well,
that
yeah, yeah, but I'm saying those three are the ones
recreational.
that are like completely legal,
Right.
right? But the rest of them
Recreational.
are medical only, including the fine state of Florida.
But some of the others have come on board. We have to double check. But there's
Yeah,
about
yeah,
30 states that's a combination of those things.
right.
So one of the big things is CBDs, right? There's THC,
CBD.
there's CBD. THC affects you more from a physical standpoint. CBD affects you more from a mental standpoint.
Is that the case? I thought it was the other way around. I guess no. I mean, some strains of marijuana will do either or both. Um, but I think CBD is more for like physical pain and things like that.
Wait, am I mixing my am, acronyms?
I guess so. Yeah. But
But
yeah, because
anyway,
it talks about here how it does. Yeah, if you go down a little bit, scroll down. Yeah, see, help many users fight anxiety, depression. Oh, so
yeah.
I guess that would be more mental. Yeah,
Hello.
I guess. Yeah, whatever.
I try to know this stuff, John, so I know
Yeah.
what I'm putting in my fantasies about
Hey,
hopefully
yeah,
medicating
yeah.
somebody.
Someday, maybe.
Anyway, yes, CBD helps with the anxiety, depression, things that go on like with post-traumatic stress disorder. So Coca-Cola is talking about putting together a new wellness drink. For some people, the downside is going to be it doesn't get you high.
Yeah.
That's fine. You don't need to get high to get the medical benefits
Yeah.
of marijuana.
From what I've heard from a reliable source, is that some people will mix the two, regular THC weed and CBD, and get a good effect from that. That's what I've
Well,
heard.
there's some good mixed strains from what I've heard
Right.
that are kind of a 50-50. So say someone who's going to turn 50 on Sunday,
Uh-huh. Hypothetically.
huh?
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, had back surgery last year,
Mm-hmm.
and so now has constant lower back pain and knee pain from previous surgeries. So
From
that
being
pain
old.
could be alleviated by the THC content because it's more of a physical thing. Whereas CBD then turns around and helps that individual who might have, say, PTSD handle the anxiety and the stress that they
Right.
would have. So a good half and half mix
Yeah.
is good.
That's what I hear.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I've heard rumors about that.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure if we ever found someone we could do a research study on,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
try that and find out.
Yeah. We could do a scientific study.
Drugs are bad.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So Coke's going to get on the bandwagon and get on the CBD trend that's going on because if you ever go to any of your naturopathy stores or herbalism stores, this kind of thing, you'll start to see CBD oils for different applications, CBD chocolate bars and things like this, ways to get that oil in.
Yeah.
It's non-psychoactive from a getting high standpoint. So,
Right.
It's a good delivery method. But it's interesting that Coca-Cola is doing this because I've also seen that read a report that Marlboro is poised to begin manufacturing
That would be awesome.
once we have federal
Yeah.
legalization. Because of course somebody like Marlboro cannot function even in our recreational states
Yeah, without it
because
being.
of the money.
Yeah,
You can't put it in the bank.
right.
And all of their money, of course, has got to be handled in legitimate ways. So there won't be that option.
I, for one, would love to be able to go to like Walgreens or something and be like, yeah, let me get a pack of Kush menthols, please. That'd be pretty great. Nice little pack of 20 joints.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah.
Um, the thing that I'm wondering, and what there's supposedly the DEA just cleared for a lot of research
Yeah.
to go on, and my thought is they're going to attempt again to have Big Farm try and figure out a way to make pharmaceuticals.
Don't they already have
They've,
Marinol?
Marinol was a synthetic, so they haven't been able to create something.
Wasn't it like an extract or something like that? Like it was purified and like
But it was nowhere near as efficacious.
what's it called? Diluted,
placebo?
like diluted.
Diluted, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was synthetic. It wasn't real THC.
Oh, okay.
They weren't. That was the thing about Marinol. Because I looked into taking it, and it wasn't. It wasn't going to be a viable option. There weren't great results from it. That's why you don't have anything on the market right now. Of course, that's why there's the fight to keep the federal legislation in place.
Right.
To keep it classified as Class 1. Because Big Farm hasn't figured out how they can capitalize on that. Because it's going to replace too many things.
Well, it's also going to be really hard to patent things. I mean, other than like a pharmaceutical pill or something like that, they can patent that because they make their own thing. But like, you can't patent the plant itself.
Sure, you can't patent the plant, but
I'm being told that I'm being told you're echoing again.
I'm echoing?
Yeah, that's what
or
I'm
you're
being told.
echoing?
No, I'm being told that Robert is echoing again.
Because I'm hearing an echo from you.
I'm hearing an echo from me as well, but apparently you are the one who's echoing.
Am I still echoing? I'm not trying to echo. I'm trying to make love to my mic.
Yeah, that might be the problem.
No.
Mike just can't handle it.
I think it was because it was bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
I hear an echo from you.
Weird. I don't know.
It's like twice as much of hearing your shit.
Good. Twice as much awesome.
Is that what you're going with? But anyway, they need to get legalization on the way.
Yeah,
I think they're doing a lot of research, so hopefully they'll find something good. But it's just a way for Big Farm to step in.
Yeah.
If ultimately, it'll like here in Florida, they just want to get people. They want to keep people from smoking it.
Yeah, which is
they're
stupid.
worried about the fire departments having to work too hard because that's been an issue.
Wait, what?
I don't know. Why else would you not want people to smoke it?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's harder to patent, right?
Well,
I mean, you can patent, like, if you make gummy bear edibles or any other kind of edibles, you can patent that.
No.
You can't patent the dry herb.
No, you can't patent the dry herb, but Big Farm can come up with its own strains, its own recipes for pills, and for pharmaceuticals. Once you have a recipe, you patent the recipe, just like they do any other pill.
I don't know, can you patent this strain? I imagine you could.
All it'll take is for Big Farm to
it's
come
still
up with
just
something.
The plant.
And then they'll find a way, they'll be like, okay, now we can federally legalize it for medical and demand that all recreational be taken out of the picture.
I mean, that's what it would take. It would take, in order to get it legalized, it would take that kind of like regulation to where only certain companies, like I know a few years ago when it was on the ballot for Ohio, and it was going to be something like only 11 companies were going to be allowed to grow. Like, that was going to be the deal. And it failed, but, like, that was going to be not a monopoly, but it's going to be a very small group of people who are going to be legally allowed to grow. And so they would basically control the market there. And so I think that's kind of what they're trying to do federally, is do the same kind of deal.
I can't understand it. Prohibition was the benchmark.
Yeah.
What happened after Prohibition? Should be more than enough reason. You want money?
What happened? I'm being told that I'm also echoing. Damn.
Yeah, there's
We
some
suck at
echoing
this.
going on. And we had this fixed.
Yeah, we had it. What'd you do?
I haven't done anything.
God damn it. Never lived a boomer fucking use technology.
Do you want to do this next time?
No.
Alright, so shut.
Anyway.
Hey, if you're an audio genius out there,
Yeah, tell us what we're doing wrong.
we have an opening.
Yeah.
Try and get out of that chair. Anyway, but no, so anyway, yeah, so if you support the legalization of CBD coke, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, of Coke. Coca-Cola,
share
of course.
and like and give us some comments. Tell us a little bit about it. Tell us what you think about it. I mean, if we need to keep that stuff under wraps and keep it classified as Class 1, please tell us why. Because, you know, one of these days it ever becomes legal, we might want to try it.
Maybe.
And, you know, we don't want to risk ourselves.
I'm not sure how interested I would be, you know.
It sounds, you know, if you read everything, I saw Reefer Madness. This kept me 50 years scared.
Oh my
afraid
god,
of
that's
that
such a great movie. I love that movie.
Made
Yeah.
by. Don't get me started. Hey, speaking of don't get me started.
Well, before we get into the next one, do you want to try and fix the echo again, and I'll just bullshit for a minute?
How are you going to bullshit for a minute?
Oh, I can bullshit all day.
I already did the thing that I think fixes the echo.
Oh, I haven't been told that it's fixed yet, so until then,
because I haven't been trying. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. See if that does it.
Yeah,
See,
this is
now,
the one where we can't hear each other
yeah,
or
this
ourselves.
Is now we don't hear ourselves.
Right, but then everyone else can hear us.
If we ask out there, hey folks, are we getting an echo or does it sound okay?
Well, we got one person watching, so hey folk.
Hey folks. Well, you know.
What do you think?
Maybe they have multiple personalities.
Oh, that's, you know,
And
you're right.
That way, I'm addressing everyone.
I assumed that
Schizophrenia
their
is a
singular
thing.
personality, and that was wrong of me.
Schizophrenia is
That's my white male privilege coming out.
It is. You've got to get over your
My
privilege
single
there.
personality privilege as well.
But
He
I don't
says
know.
still echo. So
Yeah, so that didn't make a difference.
no.
And that was the thing that took the echo away last time. See, this is. Let me see if I can
Yeah,
figure
that's
out what the
kinda
best word
bullshit.
for this is. Pissing me off.
Yeah, well, at least, well, I can hear you, but I can't hear myself anymore. There we go, yay! I can hear myself again.
But are you echoing?
Sweet, sweet lilt of my voice. Yeah.
I can't tell. Is there a little echo?
I don't hear
Maybe
any
What
echo
happens if I do
anymore.
that?
I just hear my own voice on a slight delay.
Do we echo now? I'm wondering if we echo now. Because I've got the volume all the way down. In fact, I'm going to kill it. Boom.
Ooh, kill
I'm
it
killing all the volume.
with fire.
No volume. No
Said
volume for
stream
me.
derail.
Yeah.
The stream was derailed when we started. This is
I'm
nothing.
almost tempted
Yeah,
to turn the
this
volume to the microphone.
is nothing new.
I think I'm echoing, but I hear myself in the head. So
Yeah.
I hear echoing in my head when I'm not talking.
Wow, that's probably your other voices.
Yeah. And I don't speak the language.
Apparently, it sounds like a guitar chorus pedal. I'm not sure what that sounds like,
Reverb.
but that might
Somebody's
be good.
hearing reverb.
Oh, a reverb.
Yeah, the reverb
Yeah.
pedal. I don't know. God bless America. I used to have
Hopefully.
this not happening, but now
Oh
I don't.
yeah, used to during our test stream, which was a big success. I think we had like 6 people watching. No, we had like 4 people watching.
It was like
online.
our biggest show to date.
It was.
We were popular for
We were
like
super popular.
5 minutes.
We were trending. We were like number 3
I
on the
think
trending. Not really.
I think the echoing
Not really.
drove us
I'm
out of
lying.
the market. We killed our chances.
Yep, it was a good run.
So I was
So
glad we got a chance.
yeah, it was a good run. But apparently we're echoing in chords. Is it a G chord? Or is it a D chord?
Goodness.
What kind of chord
gracious.
is it?
I don't know how to fix it. This is one I'm gonna have to look into it deeper. Cause
Oh man.
well,
You gotta
I
go deep.
searched it and I made the change.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it
I don't know.
worked.
I guess we're gonna have to deal with it for the time being.
You know, I'd be curious to know where our listener is listening to us at. What if he's listening to us in a metal tube?
Oh, you know what? You're right. It could be. We just have no idea.
Hmm?
Yeah, could be.
Listener, go into a room, hang some blankets on the wall,
Yeah.
deaden all sound.
Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna blame you. All right, we're not echoing.
That's
You're
John.
echoing.
That's you, John. That's what you would do. Blame the youth.
That's right. Blame
our-
everyone else. It's not my fault. It's everyone else's fault, especially
Can't be the
Robert's.
fault. This cannot be the fault of the management. Pass the buck. But no, thank you for letting us know that we're echoing.
That we're fucked.
So, John, we can't be fucked because
Oh.
we're white.
Oh
And
yeah.
we have white privilege.
That's what I hear. Yeah. I've
Now,
been
I
told.
wasn't sure, but
Yeah.
when it was broken down to me as if it were a video game. Now, that's a language I can understand.
Right.
Commodore 64.
Yeah, Galaga,
Right.
Mr. Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man,
Dig Dug.
Dig Dug. Oh, Dig Dug was fun. I enjoyed Dig Dug.
I hated that game.
What? That was a good
I
game.
sucked at that game.
Oh, you suck.
I sucked
You
at
just
that
suck
game.
in general.
But now
Damn.
Galaga, I could break the machine.
Yeah. So can everyone else. All the
No.
other boomers can too.
Okay. You understand what a boomer is.
Yes, yeah, obviously.
And you understand that I'm not one.
Yeah, I know. You were born way earlier.
So, shut the fuck up. Alright, so, just in case you're unsure about your white
About your
privilege.
white privilege. You're about to get schooled, son.
Oh my god.
Schooled.
Can't believe I'm gonna show this thing, promote this thing. Alright, I gotta figure something out. You know what? Now this echo is driving me crazy because the echo, I
Yeah.
think I'm here. Now, obviously, everybody's here.
Yeah.
Thank you, user. You have ruined my broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, geez, what a
Here's our
dickhead.
news.
I mean,
You're wearing that?
yeah. Who let you out of the house today?
Yeah, I can't go anywhere.
Where are your friends?
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
Oh, what if I do that?
Oh my god, what if you
I
do
bet
that?
I just muted something. What
I-
if our voices
I hear everything. I hope you didn't mute the stream.
I don't know.
That
I
would
was.
suck.
It says monitor only, mute out, but
Well, okay, maybe.
only our audience could tell us if we stop talking.
But they're not gonna be able to hear us ask them if we stopped talking. If we did.
Blink.
He said way better.
Way better.
Way better. Those were the exact.
Shut
And echo removed.
Shut the.
Oh man,
Every time I turn around, it's something.
that's fucking always something.
I can't figure it out.
Because we've done so many live streams, you know. We're experienced at these problems.
So no echo.
Hopefully not anymore. I saw you just change something else, so hopefully you
feel
didn't fuck it
lonely.
up.
I feel lonely without my echo.
Right. I mean, I still hear myself, so I'm alright. I'll just talk to myself.
Anyway,
Yeah, let's move on to this. Let's learn
Hey,
from
she's not pretty.
what?
She's cute.
She.
In a feminist sort of way.
Yeah. She's a cute in a you're never gonna get in my pants sort of way.
She's cute in a I blame you for all my problems sort of way.
Oh yeah.
She's
absolutely.
cute for a victim.
Mm.
I like victims.
Oh God. Of course you do.
Alright, so this is, we're going to play this. This is annoying, but, well, annoying to me. And don't get me wrong. Maybe not for the reasons you think.
Robert's sexist. He hates women.
John, I told you I'm sexy.
And
not
he's a Nazi.
sexist.
And a racist. And a white supremacist. And an Islamophobe. And a homophobe. And what a transphobe is the
You're
other
just
one.
making words up.
I didn't make these words up. Somebody else did.
These are real words?
I'm just using them.
Anyway, so this is a video that's going to explain privilege.
Privilege.
Privilege. directly to you, and make sure you understand. They're going to break it down in the way of a video game, so that us poor, pathetic men can understand it easier.
Right.
Because, we can't just understand plain, straight-up dialogue.
Yeah.
You have to make it about a video game.
Well, the thing
then we
is,
can get it.
thing is about me is I can't understand the concept until I've been condescended to about it. That's the only way I'm going to be able to understand.
Woman-splained.
I wouldn't use that word. I'm pretty sure only men can mansplain, and there's no such thing as woman-splaining.
How about gal-splained?
Gal-splained. Oh, that sounds like an organ that you would find in your body. You gotta move the liver aside, and there's the gal-splain right there.
Femsplained.
Femsplain.
How about
Yeah.
femsplained?
Femsplain, maybe.
Because those are the ones usually educate us. The feminists.
Feminist.
Femsplained.
Yeah.
That's going to be my new term. Hashtag femsplained.
Nice.
Take note of that, folks. Femsplained.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Hashtag.
let's take 8 minutes and 38 seconds and listen to this young lady. And
That's probably gonna take longer because we'll
Her-
pause it
why are we going to pause?
so we can trash it.
But that means I might throw up more than once.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
All right, you're cleaning it. I didn't build this office for you to not clean up my vomit. All right, here we go. Let's see what she's got to say.
Mm-hmm.
I hope there's volume.
I hope there is too.
Watch me screw this up.
We're watching.
The world is watching. Or one person.
Yeah.
The
One
world
person
of
is
one.
watching.
Thank you, viewer.
Viewer. My favorite viewer. Hashtag not all men. Let us know the quality too now that we're playing something. No, wait, end video. That's it. What is that?
Now, before we go any further, there's something I'd like to point out.
Hang on, you gotta stop it on the next person. I don't.
Oh, I
wanna-
will.
I don't want to assume.
There's a whole other conversation there.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna talk about something before that because I was
Yes.
gonna say we're not gonna make fun of that.
Not yet.
No.
We'll get to the fun making there. Something I want to point out about this young woman.
Anita Sarkeesian, you're talking
Is
about?
that her name?
Yes,
She's
that is
got
her
a
name.
name.
Yeah, she's got a very long name.
Now, is that her male given name, or is this one she's taken on herself?
I imagine that's the name that she was
if it
assigned
wasn't
at
given
birth.
by the patriarchy, it's not a
Well,
real
like I
name,
said,
right?
it's the name that she was assigned at birth. So
So the patriarchy.
I
it's her
assume, yeah.
patriarchal name.
I assume.
All right. So she's a good girl for using that.
I guess so.
And I want to
She's-
make sure that we're appropriately patriarchal while we talk about
Oh,
it.
naturally, naturally.
So that we're exhibiting our privilege.
Speaking of patriarchal,
Thank you.
yep.
So one of the arguments that we hear a lot about rape and the way men are misogynistic and pigs with women is, we are not allowed to stand on the defense of the way they dress.
Right.
Now, feminists will also often contend that that is not a reason to be misogynistic, to be rude, come on to them, forward, any of these things, right? But notice, she could not be any more uptight in her dress.
Oh yeah.
All the way up to her Adam's apple.
Mm-hmm.
She's not. Is she showing her Adam's apple? Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to go there either.
No.
We need to get a transvestigation over here.
But you notice that how she's. So this is I would say this just from that standpoint. She proves that argument's true. She wants to deliver information and for men to listen to the information specifically.
Mm-hmm.
so she does nothing to distract from it, giving credence to the fact that women are constantly distracting us with that shit, with their fashion shows and what they wear and what they put
Yeah.
out there. It exists. And to say it doesn't, she proves the theory wrong.
Yeah. I mean, she's pretty conservatively dressed. That's true.
Mm-hmm. And women that are conservatively dressed will be taken more seriously.
Yeah, that's probably why she does it. Yeah.
But that shouldn't be the case according to feminists. Women should be taken seriously no matter how they dress.
I mean, yeah.
Watch. If they want to be taken serious, they dress the part.
I mean, to be fair, no one should take Anita Sarkeesian serious.
I do.
Okay, well, let's see if we can convince you otherwise.
Maybe a sign.
Maybe. Play the fucking video. Yes. Yes. Oh my god. This is like if Kermit the Frog became like a person, a white person. Just play along. I think that was supposed to be funny. Naturally.
Of course.
Yeah, naturally. Never, ever, ever, ever. See, hang on, pause it. If they were real gamers, they would have gone with the plus 9,001 privilege. That way it'd be over 9,000. It's a very, very old meme, but it'll check out. And if they were real gamers, that's where they would have gone for. That's how you know they're full of shit. To begin with, it was like plus 1,000 privilege. It's like that's not enough to explain the full extent of male privilege. You need 9,001.
I agree.
Yeah. But,
I know a guy that looks like your friend.
yeah?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
To be honest with you, the first time you showed me this video,
Uh-huh.
I had to do the double take.
You were like, oh shit. Yeah.
I was like, no, there's no way. No. He wouldn't, that wouldn't be him.
Yeah.
But I had to do the double take.
Right. You're like, oh.
Like, no, okay, it's not him.
Yeah.
That's not a woman, right?
I honestly,
I think she...
I can't
First-
tell if
first
there's
off, it's
like
trans.
natural boobs or like man boobs. I cannot tell. The voice doesn't give me any kind of clues. The hair doesn't give me any. I don't
I
know.
think she refers to herself as trans at some point in this.
Yeah.
I think
I
she
don't
makes the
remember that.
reference.
I know there's a reference to trans people, but I don't know about that itself.
I almost want to say the way it's delivered is another shit. We'll see in a minute.
Yeah, well, we'll find out.
Good race.
Obviously. Yep. See, so pause it real quick. This is a very like I said before off mic. This is a very Eurocentric point of view, because white being the default would only be in a majority white country. So, like the example that's always thrown around is if you as a white person go to China, you would be considered out of the ordinary.
Oh, absolutely.
You would be considered, so the white privilege thing only works in European nations.
Sure.
And not even, I guess, Western nations, to include the U.S. and Canada, in the whole majority white thing. But, yeah, I mean, I mean...
That's like
Hang on.
saying that the oppression of women in the Middle East is due to white male privilege. And it's not.
Right, I mean, it's putting a blanket over all of humanity without,
Oh,
specifying.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And race. race is a big factor in it, right?
Right.
But it's just the next compartment. We've got lots of compartments to go through till we
Oh yeah.
truly intersectionalize and
Right. I mean that's what
sectionalize.
that's what this video is doing. Is just breaking down intersectionality and critical race theory and things like that, other bullshit like that.
It's traffic court.
Yeah. Oh well, then let's get rid of affirmative action. You don't have to worry about that anymore. There's no such
Okay.
thing as a perfect run for
They brought out
anyone.
the affirmative action,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just gonna say it.
And you know how I feel about affirmative action.
Do I?
So
Do we agree on affirmative action?
Yes, yeah, we do.
That it is the reason racism is perpetrated to this day?
It's
It's
definitely a reason
a large reason
for
I
it.
should
Yeah,
say.
I mean it's unnecessarily discriminating against one group in favor of another.
Right. It's reducing privilege in one group to support the privilege in others.
Of another, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, if you don't want people to assume that it's affirmative action, then let's get rid of affirmative action. That way we know that it was because of your merit and what you can do, your skills, as opposed to, well, we have to, in the case of Europe, have to fill a quota, and, which is way more condescending than our affirmative action here in the U.S. It's way more condescending to be like, oh, well, you got hired because we need a certain amount of people with your skin color or people of your gender in order for the government to not fine us. You know what I mean? Like, that's way more condescending than, like, I don't know if I'm here because of affirmative action or not. You know what I mean? You never really know. But if there's quotas, you filled the quota.
Well, I don't know if I ever told you, I had a discussion with an old friend of mine, and he's African American, and we were talking about affirmative action, and I was making this argument that affirmative action is one of the biggest catalysts to keeping racism alive.
Yeah.
And he said, I could agree with you that we could get rid of affirmative action if we made it an equality that covered everybody. A human equality. Because that's what I promote. We don't need intersectionalism. We need
intersexualism.
We need human rights.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's how we have equal rights, right? And he agreed with this. I said, okay. I said, now before you say, okay, yeah, we can get rid of affirmative action, I'm going to throw a scenario at you.
Mm-hmm.
2. I said, hey, you and I, we want to both start a business. We need to get money for that business. I'm white, you're black. We both fill out the information to try and get money in a grant to open this business.
Yeah.
So we both have daughters. They both want to go to college. Your African American daughter ranks higher on the list than my white Anglo-Saxon daughter.
Mm-hmm.
In both of those scenarios, affirmative action means you stand a better chance of getting the money and having your daughter go to college.
Right.
Now, do you want affirmative action taken away?
Ooh.
And this person who's very, he's not color biased, even having dealt with racism in his life.
Sure.
He stopped and he said, well, now I have to think about it.
Right.
Because it's opportunity.
Yeah. You obviously want what's best for your kids. Yeah, absolutely.
It's unequal opportunity.
Right.
But it's there. And affirmative action carries a hell of a lot of weight with a lot of people in this country.
Yeah.
But it is a catalyst for racism.
Yeah, absolutely.
For all races.
Yeah.
Not just white.
Everyone involved, yeah. Mm-hmm. The positive racism and things like that.
As long as the
positive
government
discrimination
can keep it happen. As long as they can make that oppression issue.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... Oh, there you go. Plus 9,000. See what I mean? Hang on, pause it. Oh, you missed it. I can't tell if those are like real like memories or if they are man boobs.
I'm trying not to look.
I just wanted to point that out. I have no idea. It's just I don't know.
Okay. Keep your perversions
All right.
locked away.
Yeah, I'll wait till after the stream.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
You're scaring me. I have to suck my chest in.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god, super hot.
That's easy mode. Wait. Pause it. Do you see that? Bill Gates in the making.
That's a hard-working son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's a
and
motherfucker
very
who
philanthropic.
started in his garage.
Philanthropic through and through.
Yeah.
Helping underprivileged people.
Right.
Of any color.
Yeah.
Any gender.
So, but they're assuming that he didn't work to get where he
Yes.
was. That he came from
It's
nothing.
fucked.
And
why didn't they say Kim Kardashian?
Yeah. Well, because she's not completely white, isn't she?
I don't
know. I don't know. Whatever.
I can't tell. The butts lie. Those hips lie.
Yeah, they do.
Tell.
Yeah, that butt is a lie. Yeah.
I can't determine. Is that? Wait. Is that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, no, that's some shitty stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, Bill Gates is not the person you use. You want to use somebody. I mean, I can think of other people. A hell of a lot of other people.
Somebody who was born into the 1% is probably because that's kind of what they're trying to imply. It seems, you know, is that he's just somebody who was just rich, just kind of manifested.
Here's Microsoft.
Yeah, he just kind of manifested into the reality as like the richest man in the world until recently.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
I mean, yeah, you're just kind of like born into it. Like Anita Sarkeesian. I love how the working class guy has a wife beater on.
But
What a
you know what?
stereotype.
Look at that working class guy.
Yeah, he looks alright.
He's white.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's right. We're still privileged even though we're low class or working class, as long as we're white.
Right. Yes, of course, the homeless white man has way more privilege than a rich black man. Or a rich black woman. So, like, a homeless white man has more privilege than Oprah Winfrey. Regardless.
I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Play the video. Because it is. Which is also the majority of people. So
Right.
it's going to be considered normal when the majority of people are that way.
Right, because if you look at, say, dogs.
Yeah.
dogs are pretty much, I guess, heterosexual, right?
Most of
The
them.
whole species, the majority of them. When you see a male dog humping on another male dog, it's an oddity. Right?
Well, actually, that's
people
not
look at it
true.
like it's a weird thing, right? That's not normal, right? Nobody
Right,
takes it as
but they
normal.
will. Dogs will do that though.
Sure,
Yeah.
but nobody sees it as normal from a sexual
Right,
standpoint.
but that's just because of their, privilege, heterosexual
Is that what
privilege.
it's from?
Yeah, that's where it comes
It's
from.
not because of what science and statistics.
No, those aren't important unless they support, the feminist cause or any other, lefty sort of ideology.
Whatever happened to just the word normality and abnormality?
Yeah,
The
those are bad.
cyst thing. We if you got a cyst, you went to the doctor and had it lanced.
Right. No, cis comes from like cishet, which I'm not sure where that came from exactly, but it just means that you identify as the gender that you represent. Yeah.
Do these people identify as human?
Uh, Most of them, however, there are other kin who
Well,
do
I mean,
not
if
identify
you
as
don't
human.
want to identify as human and have the rights as humans have, more power to you. I don't condone that we need to acknowledge vampires, fae, werewolves, fairies, sprites, brownies, trolls, goblins.
Oh
If
no,
you
we
want to
acknowledge
identify
trolls
as one
for
of those
sure.
things,
We like
please
trolls
do.
here.
Roll it up and enjoy the campaign.
Yeah.
But if you want
That's
to
a D&D
identify as
reference for
human,
you kids out there.
do I?
So that's a D&D reference for you kids out there.
I think they got me.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, who's not going to know D&D listening to this show? No.
Oh man.
I mean, when it's all said and done, if you identify as human,
Yeah.
see, again, we get right down to the crux of it. I don't need all this branding and
All this extra shit.
intersectionalism.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Here we go. Let's see what else she's got
Yeah.
to say. It's just normativity.
In a Eurocentric point of view, yes. Kevin. Wow. He looks more like a Logan. Not if you had anything to say about it, they would.
Hold on. So, this is... She just said something here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back her up for a second. Because it's... Systemic issues,
Yeah.
disadvantaged populations.
Hmm.
Okay. Statistics have shown that in an area that is predominantly African American, or predominantly Latino, or predominantly Asian, because we have groups that segregate themselves,
Yeah.
right? Culture. In those areas, crime is going to be weighted towards that race.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
the statistics for arrests
Right.
in those areas.
The majority of arrests in those areas will be by the people who live there. Yeah.
Now, I understand that once upon a time we kind of segregated in a sense, right? We kind of forced groups,
Then it was actually systematic,
systematic
segregation.
aggregation of
Yeah,
groups, right? But that doesn't have to exist anymore.
it doesn't.
Now it's
It
about
doesn't need
choice,
to. Yeah.
right?
Well, it's cultural, and it's also
Cultural.
going to be, whether or not they have the opportunity to move somewhere else. You know what I mean? So it's going to have to do with what kind of jobs they get, if at all, and, things like this.
But it makes it sound like for anyone that's not the cis-normative white male,
Yeah.
it's the fault of where you're brought up, and these disenfranchised areas. Those are the impacted things that affect these people.
Yeah.
Not choice, not rising above. It's not parenting. It's not any of these things.
Right.
It's
racism.
It's the luck of the draw, and the random factor is to blame.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're, white, cis-normative, male, that random factor is bad. That's wrong. The random factor for everybody else,
To be fair,
that is to blame for their trials.
to be
and
fair to
tribulations.
them, I don't think that that's what they're saying. Is that like it's wrong to be born cis, white, or male?
Well, of course, that's what they're saying throughout this. It's not that you should
Right.
feel bad.
But no, see,
You've
it's
got to
not-
help stop this.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you have to be a good little boy, good little ally, and help them become superior. It's really what it is, as opposed to equality, which is what they try to say they want, but it's really about superiority.
It's a fake. Padded sports bra.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I need to read this book.
And that goes back to what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, if we're talking in a European mindset, right?
Right, exactly.
She can't be sure of that if she relocated to Saudi Arabia, Africa,
Mm-hmm.
right? None of those things hold true as soon as she steps into another
Right.
culture.
So, right. I mean, let's use the China example again. White people didn't build anything. The
Right.
Great Wall of China. They didn't build. If you go to like Vietnam, Angkor Wat, they didn't build. They didn't build that. The big Buddhist temple there. You know what I mean? Like white people didn't build everything, and so to be like, oh, I can be sure that something was built by my culture. Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous throughout the world. Obviously, in Europe and America, that is largely the case. But yeah, I mean, it just doesn't apply to the entire world.
I mean, is it possible that the
Oh, thank you.
let me see if I ask this properly. Is it possible that what makes white privilege a problem is not that so many people actually have it and perpetrate it, but it is kept alive by those who point out something that negatively impacted them as having been positive white privilege for someone else.
Mm.
Because I don't care what you say. Depending on where I go in this country, what part of what city, this, that, and the other, you know,
Your white privilege will end real quick.
30, yeah. I can tell you, I lived in Atlanta for a while.
Yeah.
Right? I lived there for about 12, 13 years. And I remember very specifically getting on a bus, and I was headed somewhere, but I had gotten on the bus headed the wrong way, so I had to go out to the end of its route until it came back to the main hub.
Mm.
Now, this was out running out on I-20 out by Fulton Industrial Boulevard back in the day. This is many years ago, back when I didn't have gray hair.
Ah.
Yeah, that was a time. But at one point, the bus driver is pulling into this apartment complex, and I'm the last person on this bus. And he says, I need to get back on schedule. I'm going to take about a 5 to 10 minute break, and we'll be back on schedule, and we'll head out.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to step off, and I'm going to have a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
And then he looked me dead in the eye, and he said, whatever you do, don't get off this bus.
Yeah.
It is not safe for you to get off this bus. And he meant because I'm a white man,
Mm-hmm.
I was not safe. The only way for me to stay safe was behind that closed door.
Yeah.
So, was my white privilege at work there? You know, do I experience black privilege if I'm African American and I go in that area? What is it? What do we qualify that as?
Yeah.
You know, where's the line? And what do we call it when those of other races are succeeding, are stepping into that cis-normative stereotype,
Mm-hmm.
yet they don't have white privilege? Did they work their ass off? where
Yeah,
white
they had to
privilege
work 10
folks,
times harder, 100 times harder, however much. Yeah.
Of course, they had to struggle and scrape.
Right.
What about?
Which, of course, you can't know that, right? You have to talk to the individual people to learn about how they got to where they are or why they didn't, and things like that. You can't just put a blanket statement over it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this idea that the 1% exists is true.
Yeah.
But there's all sorts of races and colors, in that 1%. It's almost like saying there's no minority children born with silver spoons in their mouths.
Yeah. I mean,
that doesn't happen.
Right. I mean, that absolutely happens. I mean, to be fair, not as often, as it would with a white family, but it does happen. But it also is representative of the population, right? White people make up, I think, 67% of the population. So, I mean, statistically, you're going to have more of them be wealthy, and you're also going to have more of them be poor, right? So on a per capita basis, you're going to have these kind of this inequality that you see, but it's just because there's more of the people rather than any other kind of systemic racism, things like that.
Right. Well, that's it keeps feeding into this mindset that we need to differentiate ourselves to get equality.
Yeah.
There will never be equality as long as we keep making differences between us.
Well, see, so yeah, the problem is it's not when you and I would talk about equality, and when someone with this sort of ideology, this sort of mindset talks about equality, these are two different types of equality. We're talking more about equality of opportunity. They're talking about equality of outcome.
Sure.
That's why they want, we need to have more of this type of person in this, field or whatever. It's social engineering. It's saying, we don't need you to be an individual. We need you to do this thing for the cause, to be in the STEM field. We need you to be a CEO, whatever. But the people who, advocate for this sort of thing aren't the ones trying to do that. They're not the ones trying to be a CEO for the most part. They're not the ones trying to go into a STEM field. They're they're usually the ones saying someone else needs to do it. It's never them that need to do it. It's always someone else who needs to do it, and it needs to be legislated. That's why it's a ideology of control of people as opposed to freedom, as opposed to saying well, we want people to be free. It's we want people to do and act in the way that we want them to act.
Well, it's I will always, kick this dead horse, and I will argue this point till I'm blue in the face. All citizens are created equal.
Right.
And all humans have inalienable rights. Those are the only two tenets that need to be changed and that matter. Citizens are created equal. Humans are.
Sorry, had to die for a second.
I mean, those are the ways that we need to address inequality. Because from there, it simply becomes a matter of legislation. Justice.
Right.
You litigate.
Yeah.
That's the word I was. It becomes about litigation.
Right.
Someone infringed upon my human rights.
Yeah.
Somebody infringed upon my rights as a citizen.
But that's the thing is we're gonna disagree. Not you and I, but us and people with these ideologies are gonna disagree as to what are rights, which things are rights and which things are not.
Well, that's clearly done already.
Well,
That's done.
That's what we think.
We have that set up. We have a framework that protects rights, governs, in a sense, what can be protected. What's available for you as a human citizen in America.
Yeah.
These are there. They're set out. We know to the T if your rights are stepped on or not with the right evidence, the right testimony. Let it come out. If your rights as a human citizen were infringed upon, it can be litigated.
Yeah.
It can now.
Right.
But we need this intersectionalism, or as, I like to call it, literal specificity.
Yeah.
In what we say. We have to have everybody called out in the rules.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just be one collective race. And that's where they fail.
Yeah.
To get a conversation going. Because these conversations only lead to this that we're doing now.
Well, they're one-sided. That's the problem. Is they're very one-sided.
Well, sure.
It's here is what is right. That is it, and this is how it needs to be. And any kind of argumentation or anything like that is met with oh, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're whatever. And it's just a shutdown. That's all that is. It's just a shutdown conversation because it's not important. They're already right.
Well, and if you're not part of that oppressed group, you don't have an opinion or a part in the conversation. Because the truth of the matter is, they don't want a conversation.
Right, exactly.
They want to speak from the pulpit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a soapbox derby.
Well, they've been likened to like the new Inquisition, right? It doesn't matter what your opinion is. This is the right way to go about it, and we're going to do it this way, and we're going to destroy anyone who gets in the way. And that's what they've done.
I don't buy into it.
No,
I don't believe it. In fact, so much I'm not even going to make anybody sit through the rest of this. Because if you want to watch it, you can. But there's really nothing else left to this that has anything of value to say. Not that there was anything of value in it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
It's this kind of rhetoric that is poisoning the minds in this country. It bogs down the social media feeds that everybody is so enraptured with.
Yeah.
And poisons opinions, the ability to converse, to have a dialogue
Yeah.
because it only forces people to take sides, whether
Yeah.
for good or bad.
Right.
People take sides when we hear the rhetoric come this way.
Yeah.
It isn't an invitation to conversation, like you said, John. It's not about reaching out across the aisle to other Americans,
Yeah.
shaking their hand and saying, hey, can we talk about this?
Right.
That doesn't happen right now. We're not in a place.
No.
Because
Yeah,
people don't
absolutely.
want a solution. They want to be victims.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
victims want compensation, not solution.
And validation.
Yeah, validation.
Yeah. Absolutely validation.
We could call that a part of their compensation.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
You know, they want to be compensated for their victimhood
Yeah.
in whatever way it is, and they don't need it. It's fruitless. It's you know it's like that fictional void they tell you that you try and fill on the inside. Some people do it with food, drugs, whatever. Trying to fill a void and it never gets filled. It's the same thing with this.
Yeah.
You'll never be satisfied.
No, it can't be. That's the thing, is that sort of mindset cannot be satisfied, because there must always be some boogeyman to be oppressed by. Because if you're not oppressed anymore, then the ideology is done. It's over with. You got what you wanted.
That's
But so it can't ever do that in order to survive. So it must always have something else. No matter how much you try to appease someone, there's always going to be another thing. It's always going to be, oh, this. Okay, well, now this. Okay, well, now this. And it's going to continue forever.
And that's why I say the HRA is the way to go. The Human Rights Amendment. No more Equal Rights Amendment. Okay. We still haven't got equal rights for women across. We're still waiting on one more state. After how many years? It's not happening.
No,
That's why it needs
the
to be
Human
the
Rights
HRA.
Amendment's probably not going to happen, no.
If people were smart, you can't argue against that. There's no argument to say, oh, it leaves somebody out.
Other than we already have that. It's just not in the Constitution.
It's not flat out literally
Right.
said, this is human rights. Period.
Right.
That's the problem. And it feeds their literal specificity to give them that. But they cannot argue when you say, what if we just give all humans the same rights and make it litigatable? If that's a word.
Yeah.
Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But
Yeah.
how do you argue that? I'm sorry. Are all these people human?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
okay.
sure that the UN has its own human rights,
There's a
like
Human
Bill of
Rights
Rights.
Council,
Well, yeah, but they also have like
but we don't have that here.
legislation
Because
that
remember,
says.
we're about individual rights.
Well, yeah, that is paramount, of course.
But ultimately, we want individual rights that are based off rights of the citizenry as a
Right.
whole. And so when people understand that those two things have to work hand in hand,
Yeah.
citizenry, being a human, you meet those two requirements, nothing is kept as an opportunity for you.
Yeah, you just
Nothing.
you just
Everything's
have
open.
the same rights as everyone else.
Sure.
Exactly.
If the only you don't have rights here if you're Joe Bob from Mars alien,
Yeah.
right? If you come from another planet,
We'll figure
if you're
it
a
out then.
chimpanzee named Caesar who starts talking, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you're not considered human. You're still a chimpanzee.
Right.
And so yes, we're gonna put you in a jumpsuit and give you a broom and have you teach the other chimpanzees to sweep.
Right.
That's what we're gonna do until you get smart enough to take us over and show
Yeah.
us that human rights don't matter either.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so I'm done digressing. Hey, listen, folks, if you like what you hear, maybe you do, maybe you don't, John. I don't know. Maybe they
I mean, if you don't like what you hear, let us know.
we like people that don't like what we hear.
Yeah,
because that's the other half of
absolutely.
the conversation.
See, we actually welcome that.
Right.
We actually
do.
welcome other conversation.
But whether you like it or whether you don't, reach out and tell somebody. You can reach over there, hit that like, you can hit that subscribe, you can leave some comments. We've got ourselves out on Twitter at
The Gen Gap P.
Yes It Is.
Yep.
So reach out on Twitter, talk to somebody, talk to anybody, talk to us, reach out to us, and make sure this conversation is not just happening here. We want conversations happening out there. reach out and tell everybody on Twitter. Write a letter to your congressman. Write a letter to your grandmother. Maybe your grandmother will want to listen to some old rants from somebody like me. But hey, all that matters is we're talking. So, if you've got anything to say, reach out on the comments. Correct us when we're wrong.
Yeah.
Praise us
please
when
do.
we're right.
Yeah.
We like a little praise every once in a while.
I think everyone does, yeah.
Yeah, it's good for us. And
Everyone
we're
likes a
going
little fellatio, you know.
You just had to go there. Now I know what to expect after the show.
That's for the private show happening later this month. It's not. I'm just
the
kidding.
after hours show.
That's right.
Hey, but folks, thanks for listening. We're going to get out of here. We're going to keep talking about this, and you keep doing the same. We'll catch you next time on the Generational Gap. Have a good night.
See you guys next week.